to my left is Chief John Hearn of the Newtown Township Police Department. And to his right, Chief Martin McDonough, the Bucks County District Attorney's Office. Directly behind me, Detective Timothy Furman of the Bucks County District Attorney's Office. And to his right, Detective Frank Goodwin of the Newtown Township Police Department. And to his right, Detective Corporal Joe Camp of the Newtown Township Police Department. And to his right, Detective Nick Moffitt of the Newtown Township Police Department. And finally, to his right, on the back row, is Captain Jason Harris of the Newtown Township Police Department. To my immediate right is the prosecuting attorneys from my office, Deputy District Attorney Brittany Kern and Assistant District Attorney Sarah Salvo. Thank you for being here. We're here to report that today, Megan Macklin, who's 45 years old, from Philadelphia, was arrested for the October murder of 72-year-old Richard Scott McFarland. She's in custody in Tennessee after fleeing Bucks County after the murder of McFarland at his home at 55 Apple Hill Road in Wrightstown, Newtown Township, Bucks County. She's charged with first-degree murder, second-degree murder, robbery, abuse of corpse, and related charges. She remains in custody in Tennessee on $500,000 cash bail pending extradition to Pennsylvania to be arraigned on the murder charges. I must commend the detectives who conducted an outstanding investigation into this murder. A brief overview of the facts are as follows. At approximately 4 p.m. on Saturday, October 7th, an individual who was interested in purchasing the McFarland residence was at the property at 55 Apple Hill Road in Wrightstown and discovered the body of a male laying inside the residence between the living room and the kitchen area. This individual believed he smelled smoke, so he called the fire department. The male was fully dressed and was laying on his back. The Lincoln Fire Department cleared the residence and confirmed it was safe to enter. Newtown Township Police arrived shortly thereafter and recognized the male to be the homeowner, Richard Scott McFarland, who was 72 years old. Police treated the residence as a crime scene, and a deputy coroner came to the scene. The victim was confirmed deceased and was found to have multiple stab wounds and slash wounds, including one to his torso that exposed his intestines. He also had several defensive injuries to his hands and arms. Of note, the victim was fully dressed, wearing a button-down shirt that was fully buttoned, a fedora hat, shorts, and one shoe. It was clear that he was fully dressed to disguise the injuries that ultimately were the fatal stab wounds that ended his life. Police detectives processed the scene and numerous items were recovered, including bloody bedding contained in suitcases, a bloody rug that was wrapped up and hidden in a different room, a checkbook containing only deposit slips, and prescription bottles with the name of the defendant, Megan Macklin. Police quickly learned that a black 2013 Mercedes sedan that belonged to Richard Scott McFarland was missing from the residence. The police had been present 2 times previously at the residence on October 4th, approximately 22 hours apart from each other. The police first response was around 1 a.m. on October 4th, when a female witness reported that Megan Macklin assaulted Richard Scott McFarland. Police observed a small cut to McFarland's forehead. However, McFarland denied a desire to prosecute, and both McFarland and the defendant Macklin wished to remain in the residence. At approximately 11 p.m. on October 4th, police were dispatched back to the residence when Megan Macklin, the defendant in this case, reported that the victim was threatening her. Mr. McFarland denied making any threats, and again, both parties wished to remain in the residence. On October 7th of 2023, Megan Macklin came into contact with White Pine, Tennessee police at approximately 7:35 p.m. following a report that she was eating food at a convenience store and failed to pay for that food. Officer Robert Smith of the White Pine Police Department in Tennessee spoke with Macklin, who identified herself initially as the deceased wife of the victim, McFarland. She She specifically indicated she was Janet Webb McFarland and tried to provide identification proving to be that she was in fact Janet McFarland. The White Pine police officer conducted an investigation and was incredibly diligent in his efforts because he realized that information she was providing did not add up. Macklin told police she was traveling with her husband, Scott McFarland. She gave inconsistent statements about where her husband was, why she was in Tennessee, and how long she'd been in Tennessee. It was when Officer Smith spoke with Detective Moffett from the Newtown Township Police Department that Macklin finally was identified as the defendant, Megan Macklin. She continued to assert her name was Janet Webb McFarland, again showing various forms of identification, claiming to be McFarland's wife. Macklin was arrested for operating the stolen Mercedes sedan that belonged to the victim and for other related charges. And she's been in custody ever since on October 7th, 2023. Video surveillance obtained from the Wawa in Pipersville, Plumstead Township, Bucks County, from 12:44 a.m. on Friday, October 6th, shows Macklin operating the Mercedes sedan, obviously before fleeing to Tennessee. She was wearing a pair of gray Crocs, which were later found in this Mercedes sedan, and when they were searched and a DNA swab was obtained, it confirmed to have DNA from the victim on those Crocs. We are seeking the public's help. We know that prior to fleeing the jurisdiction, that Macklin was seen at various locations in Bucks County. So we're seeking the public's help to provide any information they may have about her movements, and most importantly, any information they may have about this homicide. Answer any questions you may have.
Jennifer, why did it take so long for the DA's office to acknowledge this death and the circumstances?
At times, we immediately seek the public's help and we announce a criminal investigation into a homicide. But there are times where, in order to maintain the integrity of the investigation, we choose not to do that. There are investigative steps that need to take place with us, allowing us the opportunity to pursue evidence without revealing some of the information we have.
Is there a reason that was done in this case?
It'll become more clear later, but obviously this was a very thorough investigation. There were twists and turns in this investigation and information that had to be ran down, and we knew that the community was safe because Macklin was in custody. So we made a decision that it was not appropriate to come forth until today with the information, but we do need the public's help.
Based off the timeline here and the fact that she was caught in Tennessee on the 7th, what do you think the timeline is in terms of when this victim was killed? Do you think it was that same night when officers were called 2 times on the 4th?
It's hard to say. We charged the range from the October 4th through the 7th. Given it was late in the evening on the 4th, it was likely at some point on the 5th or early on the 6th that the victim was murdered. We do know that there were at least two different locations in Bucks County that we know Macklin was observed based on surveillance to be still in Bucks County before fleeing to Tennessee.
And what was the nature of their relationship?
They were described as friends. Obviously, there's a significant age gap. McFarland was a widow. Obviously, he's a senior, and we believe perhaps may be vulnerable to Macklin, and some of that information will become evident as we prosecute this case.
Do you know how long they had known each other?
Roughly 2.5 years.
And the second female who was there for the one domestic call, what was her relationship, and is she believed to be involved in the criminal aspect?
She's not involved in the criminal aspect. In fact, she was quite cooperative. She was the initial 911 caller on the first domestic involving allegations of Macklin being violent towards the victim. She's fully cooperative, and we have no reason to believe that she's involved in any way.
Has his second car, I believe a Honda, was that located?
Yes, let me confirm for a moment. Yes, it was in fact located.
Was it stolen or?
Yeah, it was at a mechanic shop
Okay.
before the homicide. So no nefarious motives as far as it relates to that car. We know that Macklin fled in the Mercedes sedan and had intentions to steal that vehicle.
To be clear, when you say the body was found fully clothed, you're saying that you believe it was she dressed him after to cover up?
Yes, post-mortem. It was evident, based on the nature of his injuries and whatnot, that he was dressed after he was murdered.
And in terms of that, interested home buyer, was this a realtor that had a key? How did that person get inside to see and make this person discovery?
I don't know that they actually gained entry to the home. They were looking into the home, but let me just confirm that fact. Yes, so in fact, the storm door was closed, but the main door was open, so we had a clear sight line into the home. Any other questions? All right, thank you very much.